Next up, ERGs, employee resource groups, or maybe engaging resource groups, how to keep members and allies engaged. Dominika Czyżowska is with us. Good morning, Dominika.
Hi, Łukasz. Good morning, everyone.
I'm so happy to be able to see and hear everyone without any interruptions. Wonderful. Wonderful to have you with us, Dominika. You're Diversity and Inclusion Co-Lead at HSBC. Tell me, how did you start?
Well, before I got the role of the D&I co-lead in GSC Kraków, I became a lead of one of the ERGs, Balance. And my journey began quite unexpectedly because I saw my name on the poster that I was accepting as a D&I coordinator that time.
And given this experience of this role now, has anything changed about it?
Yes, it was the best thing that happened in my life because I got to know that people trust me. So whomever put me on the poster, that person believed that I have those leadership skills and can move the Balance group into a next level, right? So it also gave me the opportunity to overcome my fears and start building the team, because if you are leading not only D&I team, but if you are leading people in general, you have to engage firstly into building your team.
That's a very strong thing to say, the best thing that happened in my life. Could you elaborate on that a little further?
Yes, sure. I was really interested in D&I from the very beginning when I joined HSBC. And what happened is...
When was it?
Oh, it was 9 years ago. So quite a long time ago. And then 2 years ago, I decided that I have to change something in my life. But if I'll be changing my life, why cannot change somebody else's life? That's why I came up with an idea of the mentoring program, which was rolled out in Poland. And that made me think that the most important part in each D&I group ERG is that engagement, because it makes you a real change maker. So it makes you that person which we are here, right? So we are hearing all the wonderful speeches, all the discussions, because we want to be those change makers. So that is why I think...
Dominika, please finish. You think?
Yes. So that is why I think that ERG should stand for the engaging resources group rather than employee resource group. Because if you are not engaged, you are not able to do any change.
9 years is quite an impressive track record, and you yourself said that you actually started exploring D&I 9 years ago, probably straight after high school. Dominika, tell me, if we look at the types of employees we have from a purely psychological perspective, would you say that there is a certain percentage of employees who come to work and do not necessarily have to have this psychological dimension, in the sense that they just want to earn the salary, go home, finish the work they have to do? And others, like you, it seems to me, they need to have this much deeper sense of value to whatever it is they are keeping themselves busy with for at least 8 hours a day at work. Is there a, in your experience, it's not an easy question, I know, but has these percentages shifted in the past few years? Is there more stress on values and this also emotional dimension being part of an organization?
Yes, for sure, because each company builds their culture on the values, right? So in HSBC, we believe in people to be open, dependable, and connected. Those are our key values. And as you said, there are people who are coming to work, they are doing their work, they are leaving the work at 5 p.m., and they are going to their homes. Nothing else matters for them. On the other hand, those are those engaged people who are doing the voluntary jobs, which is great from the company perspective, because those are the people who are moving the company into the next level. But then we have to all remember that even if you are doing your work from 9 to 5, you have to upskill yourself. Otherwise, you won't be earning enough money, right? And this is why, for example, D&I, one of the D&I's aim is to focus on people's self-development. We are running various initiatives that helps people to be better at their work. So, for example, we are having the mentoring program. We are having coaching circles for highly potential employees, and we are opening all the initiatives for all employees, regardless their gender, faith, race, etc. But what we want to achieve is to also engage the people who are not so engaged in company's life, but they really need to be upskilled because the company is based on them. So even if you are doing so-called copy-paste things, you have to do it properly, right?
You've already mentioned some, but what are the key activity areas at HSBC when it comes to D&I? I understand you have 8 different groups, don't you?
Yes, indeed. So we are creating an awareness among people with disabilities. We are supporting men and women towards the equal chances for the best career path. We are having Pride group, which is focusing on LGBT plus community. We are supporting expats through Embrace. We are supporting a dialogue between generations through the generations group, but we also have Christians, mindfulness, so we promote meditation, and we are having, I would say, quite informal group, which is called communities, and by which you can connect with other people who have the same interest as you. So you like cycling, then you can cycle with someone else from the company, and then you can do what you like, but also you can meet people from other teams, other departments. And what is also important is that right now, after the COVID or during the COVID, we
unfortunately
yes, we had to think on the streams that we will be supporting. So on the one hand, we are focusing on the self-development and encouraging people to use the time they are at home. They have more time because they don't need to spare them to the going back and forth to the office. Then we are strengthen the community by enabling them to meet a part of the daily task. So we are supporting them through communities, but also we just launched the language buddy program, which is very useful. As on the one hand, it enables you to meet people from other departments, other teams, but on the other hand, which is even more important, it's designed to get people an opportunity to learn or practice different languages. So I think it's very important for expats who are living in Poland. The circumstances are totally different. They are at home. but they can practice Polish, and on the other hand, they can pay back those lessons by teaching their native language. And the last but not least is that we are all trying to keep people informed. What is going on, what they can do or cannot do, what are the safe outdoor or indoor activities. Right now, the cinemas, the theaters are closed, but during the summer, we launched a series of communication which was called Summer in the City and Be a Tourist in Your Own City. That was presenting sometimes not obvious activities that can be done in Krakow.
Was it you who launched this initiative, or was it the city itself?
Yes, it was me and a few other people, and the reason was quite simple. I have kids, so I really need to do something with them. Other people were expats, so they really wanted to do something with themselves. And then we said, hey, we are here, we are closed, we cannot travel abroad. So is there anything interesting in the city we are living in that we can promote? And then we did it.
Interesting you should say that, Dominika, because there possibly should be an English language platform in the city itself encouraging such activities, imagining that a lot of people would be in home office situations or lockdown situations.
That's correct. And I believe that Diversity Hub is started to drive that change. They invited us, HSBC, and other corporates from Krakow to be present in that project. So we already had a meeting with the City Hall members, and I believe that soon, very soon, we can see more changes in that area, in that space.
That's wonderful, because it tells me that the experience of the city is becoming more tailored for specific stakeholders these days, in line with expectations, not just a generic travel guide for all. Dominika, for a moment there, you implied the after COVID situation, and we talked with Beata how wording is important, because for a moment there, someone might think you're a government supporter if you say we are after the COVID pandemic already. But on a more serious note, it's unique to look at your company's experience and your professional experience in particular, because not many people have worked on D&I for 9 years. Some are barely starting. So my question is, over this period of time, with a special focus on the pandemic period, have you come across resistance to D&I mindset, D&I values? If so, are there any trends in that? And clearly, from what you're saying, the efforts, just like at Laxoft, you're focusing a lot on making your D&I efforts relatable. Can you comment on that?
Yes, it was way more easier to get people involved and engaged in various D&I initiatives or events when we were coming to the office, where all the events were placed in the office, so people actually could have those personal contacts. Right now, since everything is moved to the online platform, even this conference, it was supposed to be live and in person, but we had to change it. So
well, the two of us talking are very much in a live mode, and the advantage is, one, carbon footprint, to think on the positive side, and two, people from all over the world can watch us easily from the comfort of their homes.
And I'm glad that you are speaking through those languages with benefits. So on the one hand, COVID changed everything, and we should know that very clearly and speak about it very clearly. And right now, the challenge for all of us, for not only the D&I leads, the group leads, but the members and allies, is to understand how we can change, how we can leverage our current initiatives to be more accessible, to be more interesting for people who are spending their 8 hours working day online. And this is what we are trying to do right now. It's not easy. It's not easy. And if someone tells me that, oh, in our company nothing has changed, I won't believe that, because I would say I'm the best example of person who has a lot of online meetings. And if I see a meeting that is not related to my work, I'm done. I'm not able to handle it anymore. So what we can do is to, as you wonderfully show us an example, start to think through benefits. So if we are promoting an initiative or the event, let's go to the people's mindset, stand in their shoes and think why exactly they should join this particular meeting. What will be the benefit for them? We are running right now the leaders launch meetings. Those are the meetings with the senior managers from the group, not from Poland only, and they are sharing very personal stories. So one of the senior manager in risk department where I work in was sharing a very interesting hobby. So she's sewing her clothes, her dresses, which is wow, she can afford it, but she's sharing such a very simple way of finding the balance between work and after work life.
Could we, I know it's not an easy question, could we come back to resistance? Because I would really like to use your unique experience of having such a broad perspective on D&I. We are landing ourselves in a bit of a paradox situation, because some of our speakers would be telling you it's now easier to find D&I champions. Others would say it's much easier to run D&I efforts when you actually can meet inside a company environment ecosystem and use that. So which is it from your perspective? Is it easier or tougher, much tougher to run D&I initiatives today?
I would say it's both, but
wonderful.
It's easier.
You solved my dilemma.
Yes, but it's easier. It's easier because you can join whatever group in the world you can. So HSBC is present in 64 countries. In each of those countries, we have the D&I groups. So it's easier for us to connect. It's easier for us to exchange the experiences, to exchange the ideas. Right now, we moved in HSBC towards the global cooperation. So when we are launching something interesting locally, we are trying to leverage the same idea to the other countries so they can also be involved, or they can align and adjust this idea to the local circumstances. But with the resistance, I would say that we still need more time to make it through, because it will be still present until we come back to the office.
Fair enough, Dominika. We have 42 seconds left. Tell me your best word of advice for someone who wants to start or wants to become more engaged in D&I effort. What would it be?
First of all, be the salesman and show your marketing competences. So remember that there are no bad ideas. There is just bad selling and bad marketing. That's one thing. Second thing is that when you are leading the group, or you are trying to lead the group, you are building the group, you have to get to know your people, but not who they are, what they are doing, what are their roles in a particular company, but why they want to be engaged in D&I. And here I have a very short story about the lady, about the girl from the IT who joined Balance, and she said, I joined it because I was the only woman in the IT team for 10 years, and it made me crazy. So I had to change something. And the last but not least is my recommendation to all of you, to you, Łukasz, to all the people who are listening to us right now, and to myself. What motivates you, me, to be engaged? We have
I'm very
to
happy to
answer this question.
I completely agree with you, Dominika, and I'm glad you concluded with this last question, because when we go back to the first recommendation you gave, I thought for a moment that you very much enjoyed watching The Wolf of Wall Street with Leonardo DiCaprio. Thank you very much, Dominika Czyżowska, Diversity and Inclusion Co-Lead at HSBC. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye, everyone.